them cars just can't pass each other, and that just bugs the far out of me. They don't run high going in, and why they don't, I don't know. To me, the higher you go in, the quicker you can get on it. But what they do, they go in, and then they scrub the speed off as they go up the hill.
The 11 wasn't the best car. He just wound up winning the race.
Well, he drove a really good race.
He did,
and that rain changed the whole complexity of the top 10 or 15 cars, because everybody moved around except the leader. As you're watching two road races, anything would be interesting.
Yeah,
Okay, Dale. Looked like at least we got to see some racing yesterday.
After
the two road course deals where you can't see nothing, you know.
Yeah, I don't know how to describe the race. We've been describing races as interesting, and I guess this one and the other one was interesting.
It was definitely interesting.
So that makes a pretty good race if they're interesting.
Well, to begin with, the 9 cars just ran off left there. I mean, he was a quarter 3100s better than anybody when he was out front. And I said, man, this is going to be a terrible, terrible race. But then everything played itself out. They made a bad pit stop with him, got him back in the pack, and he couldn't go nowhere. I mean, he was really, really struggling and looking like the best car, but them cars just can't pass each other, and that just bugs the far out of me. I mean, right there at last with a 20 car and 11 car that was racing for the deal, he'd run and get within a couple of car lengths, and then the next time the next lap he'd be 100 yards behind, and then he'd work his way back. And
it's certainly not like it used to be.
No, if you caught somebody, you could get close enough to at least hit him.
Yeah.
But he couldn't get close enough to spin him out or nothing.
Well, there was no practice. I don't know how much that changed. And the qualifying, that put some people in the back that would have been in the front.
The practice and all that rain and stuff, that's what happened to the 43 car. When they took both right side tires off of his car after he hit the wall there, they were down to the cord on both of them. And then the 16, I think, had trouble at exactly the same time. But, he just like 2 or 3 laps before they had the intermission. But and that got him behind. But up to that time, he was a pretty decent car.
Evidently, it must have hurt the car a little bit when he hit the wall, too.
Well, it probably didn't hurt anything, but the deal was
he's back in traffic all day.
They made some calls that was bad, and then he would have had a terrible pit stop one time for some reason.
Okay.
But the deals up front, you had some different people running, and just back for 4th or 5th or 8th or 10th, them people were, again, they raced the far out of each other. Don't show it on TV, but when you're sitting there watching it, I mean, they would somebody racing everywhere. And what was neat to me about that track, you could run on the inside, you can run in the middle, or you can run up against the wall. And that works good in a crowd. But once they get one-on-one, it doesn't seem to be an advantage one place or another.
But you're talking about running high. They can't run high going in, and they go in fairly low.
Put it this way, they don't run high going in. And why they don't, I don't know.
Well,
do you mean because the higher the higher you go in, the quicker you can get on it. But what they do, they go in and then they scrub the speed off as they go up the hill, and then they make their turn and go.
But that gives them a good run off.
And that gives them a good run off.
But they're not up against the wall.
But they've
like
lost.
Darlington
they bogged themselves down going uphill.
You can run the wall at Bristol better than Dover, can't you?
Yeah. No, Dover you could run them. But did we ever run it when it was cement?
I'm not sure, Richard.
I don't remember.
I know the first time we ran up there, 1969, and I brought it up the other day. We ran Daytona Beach on a Friday and ran up there on Sunday. Had never seen the place, and it was a 300-mile race.
Yeah, it was just a 300-mile race.
And they had it was you and Leroy, and Pearson was the best 3 cars, and Leroy had trouble first, then Pearson had trouble first, and every time we pit from that caution, your tire would be tore up, but it hadn't blowed, so then we could slow down. And
we got lucky. Our tires lasted just a lap or 2 longer than anybody else's.
But it was only a.
But after the first run, the tires didn't go away. I mean, they didn't use them up quite as bad.
Yeah.
But then they had that last rain deal and stuff, and they didn't run long enough for the tires to make any difference.
Well, I was really surprised. I know Danny's awful good there, and he was not the best car. The 11 wasn't the best car. He just wound up winning the race.
Well, he wound up front, and like I say, every time they got close, he drove a really good race.
He did.
I mean, from time to time, the guy behind him, he'd run high one lap and run low the next lap. So he kept the guy behind him confused about, do I need to go in high or do I need to go in low?
I was really surprised that he won the race because they'd run about 45 laps, and the rain came.
Yeah.
And running them hot tires through water, Richard, used to make them harder.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it does to them now.
But the big deal was that it helped those tires. It cooled the tires off. Okay.
Well, it cleaned the track off.
And the track was green.
Yeah.
So the wore-out tires weren't quite as much difference as the new ones. The new ones was a whole lot better because that 19 come charging up there. You know, he would, when they throwed the flag, he was 5th or 6th or something.
And he was the first one with 4 tires.
But he'd run up there and catch him, and then he'd get gone. But he didn't have but 2 laps to do it in.
But I'm gonna bring up something that I seen on television, and the 9 car, like you said, had the jack on the left side.
Yeah,
the tire must have hit it and dropped it, and that got him behind. But one time, he looked like he was the only car on pit road, and they only put 2 tires on.
Yeah, when they made one pit stop there, the last pit stop he made, he just got 2 tires.
But he looked like he was the only one on pit road.
But when it came down to the end of the race, and I guess the 20 and 11 was racing each other, the 9 and the 5 was coming on pretty good.
Yeah.
And and they still had 14 or 15 laps to go. It would have really been interesting if it hadn't rained, because that would have been 4 cars up there instead of the 2. So, and that rain changed the whole complexity of the top 10 or 15 cars, because everybody moved around except the leader. Okay, I'm a longtime paralyzed veteran of America supporter. I'm here with Carl Blake, CEO of PVA. Since 2011, I've teamed up with Food City and PVA to raise over $4 million to support our national heroes.
Thanks to the support of Richard Petty and Food City, we've been able to help veterans with spinal cord injuries and diseases like ALS and MS get the benefits that they've earned, the health care that they deserve, and the careers that they want to have meaningful, fulfilling, and independent lives.
And we're kicking it into high gear this July. You can help by donating at the register at your local Food City.
Or you can head over to pva.org and give online. Every dollar you give makes a difference.
So join me in honoring those who sacrifice so much. Let's fuel the mission. Donate today.
Let me throw something else at you.
Okay, I'll catch it.
2 different times, the 20 car up front spun out in front of the whole field.
And nobody hit him.
Some people tore up missing him, but he was a good driver to do that. I'm making a joke when I'm saying a good driver. He was just along for the ride.
Yeah.
But that was just, you just couldn't.
But he just ran, I mean, it showed, he just ran along and goes in the corner and it just don't stick. I mean, and he had no feel for it because it'd been working. And I just wonder if it's the way the cars, the way that wind comes off them cars, sometimes you might get a blank deal in there where there's no air or nothing between them cars.
I don't know.
But anyhow, and he spin just like that.
But, and if you watch him, Richard, he don't turn, the wheels don't turn very much, you know what I mean?
No, they don't turn.
But as quick as that happened, no matter how fast it turned,
there wasn't no catching it. He could turn the wheels all the way and they wouldn't catch up.
But they had a good crowd, didn't they?
It was a decent crowd, yeah.
But
there's a bunch of seats up there in that place, buddy.
I know they are. I see that.
The deal about that racetrack is sort of like a Bristol, no matter where you sit, you can see all the way around the racetrack.
Okay.
And it's got to be really good from the spectator standpoint. The only thing is, again, once they start having caution flags or pit stops and stuff, I don't know how the general public sitting in the grandstand really keeps up with it.
Well, they'd be better not trying not to just watch somebody racing somebody probably if you can do that.
Maybe that's – I don't know how the fan really watches a race. Is he watching for the leader, or is he pulling for a car and just watches that car all day long or whatever?
Yeah, I know what I get. I know I'm watching the 42 and 43, and sometimes I miss a little something. But I want to bring up one story that happened, I don't know, sometime in the mid-'70s. Harry Hyde in the old garage was, I mean, he wore white pants and a white shirt and always, and he was such a character. But he come up behind me and had a pistol in his back pocket and fired through the back pocket and left a stain on his white pants, and it was asphalt there, and I didn't know where that bullet was going, so I got away from him. But then I don't know where it happened before or after this venture. I mean, he wasn't shooting me or nothing. He was just trying to scare me, I guess, which he did.
Playing with you.
But the garage is gone now, but he shot a hole in the roof down there in one of the stalls.
I don't know what happened to that, but I remember him doing that.
Well, the Hall of Fame, supposedly in Charlotte, when they tore the garage down, the Hall of Fame has got that section. So, and I don't know where they display it or not, but I'd be interested to know. But okay.
But overall, I thought the race was a good race.
Interesting and good.
I guess after watching 2 road races, anything would be interesting.
Yeah,
okay. But again, those people back there, 7th or 8th and 10th and 15th or 20th. I mean, they was running side by side, back and back, and the deal back there seemed like for some reason when they'd catch somebody, they could pass each other. The deal was when they was running up front, I guess they was running so hard in the corners, it made a little bit of difference. So maybe just 10 or 15 100ths of a second of a lap. But if you'll notice, what was the 11 car? 11 car came up on the 42 one time and couldn't even get close to him till the 42 got out of his way.
He caught up on the 10 car and is really mad at him too.
Yeah.
But okay, bringing up another deal you're talking about, Chase had, in the 9 car had run off and left the field, and when he got to the 99 to lap him,
and then they called up.
But everybody was running the same speed at that time.
About 2/3 of the way through a pit stop, all the tires are all give up, and so everybody starts running the same speed.
Yeah, and the cars are so much alike. Okay, a mile track to a 2.5 mile track.
Yeah, I was thinking the other day.
When you think.
No, our road race guy, okay, first thing that happened to him, he started 6th, had a flat tire.
Yeah.
So he got 6-8 laps behind to begin with. And then it never showed how good he was running. But he must have run pretty good because they didn't lap him that many more times. But going to Indy, it's got them 4 corners and all that stuff. So a lot of straightaways, naturally. He might do okay there because that's like a road. Getting in those corners is like getting in a road race corner or getting off of them. So he might look pretty good out there.
I compare Indy to something like Pocono, especially coming off the last corner of Pocono.
Yeah.
You better come off there free to get down them long straightaways.
If you don't get off the corner, you're in deep trouble.
Deep trouble there. So
getting in is not as important as getting off.
That's the rainy section of the country too, Richard. And I hope to get to practice off. And,
but at Dover, 100% clear weather. And just that one big deal come, and we was just right on the edge. Yeah. And I mean, when it rained, you couldn't see across the room. I mean, it rained. Yeah. It really dropped it all. But it was just, for 2 or 3 minutes, and it was gone.
But here's another if. We talk about ifs. If it hadn't been concrete, and
it would
take a lot
longer.
They would still been up there trying to dry it.
But it had been hot, and everything was warm. And by the time they got the track dry, even pit road, and I was looking in the garage area. There was a bunch of dry spots. It doesn't dry up by itself.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyhow, we'll get ready to go. And Indy is a hard place to put on a good race. Okay, just because I don't know.
It's big. It's a big place.
Well, it's so big and so different
and flat. That makes the camera not pick up as much as they normally
But it's really hard for them to be able to put on. So I can't see the race being near as exciting as from a spectator standpoint as what it was this past week.
Well, if it is, I'm gonna bring it up to you.
You bring it up, and I'll check it out.
Okay.
Dale wasn't with me then, but I don't really remember a whole lot about it. I don't remember where I started. I don't know how good we run. I don't know who we raced with. It was, I guess at that time it was just another race, and we went out and we tried to win it and lucked up and won it. So I don't know if we got lucky and won it or whether we outrun people and won it.
What year was that?
74, 84.
Yeah, I was busy winning the 8th championship with Terry.
Yeah, but you didn't win that race.
No, but I was with you first and then your last one, bud. So that makes for a long spell.
We never even looked at it. I went up to Indy one time and went in Fort's garage and stuff, and he said, "You get in that car?" And I said, "It's got a motor in it. I ain't getting in it." But anyhow, and so he said, "Before you get in it, you got to put these shoes on, size 7 shoes. That's how much room there was for the clutch, the brake, and the accelerator." And I said, "Forget it. I mean, I got a pretty good sized foot here, and that would have got on all the pedals at one time." So no, at that particular time, I don't think anybody really looked at running Indy. I guess there was 2 or 3 of the guys. One of the Allison boys, he went up there and ran. I guess he probably one of the first ones.
Bobby and Donnie both ran it, didn't they?
Did Bobby?
I don't know who done it first.
I know Donnie ran it a couple times.
Yeah, but my point of view on it, at one year we ran 62 races. I think one year
64.
And 67 we ran 48. I'm saying we, it's Richard. So there really wasn't that much time for it, And I know I'm repeating ourselves, but me and Richard and Maurice got drafted in what is Cup now, and we didn't. That's all we've ever known, I think he went somewhere and tried to run a modified one time, and we had, I don't know, I don't think I went with him. Then we got outlawed one time in 65, and we done some drag racing, which I didn't like, but I guess I'm just saying it's been a long ride.
Right now, he's got a good chance as anybody. This was his 4th win, and there's 2 or 3 others that's got 3 wins. But if you look back and watch some of his running and stuff, he's been in the right place at the right time under the right circumstances, and that's the way you win championships.
He's really good. There's no question about it. I'm not saying I wouldn't care if he'd win the championship. That's my view. But when they go to Phoenix, that ain't a bad track for a Ford, and the Ford ain't been running good at all the tracks. But Logano and the 12 car and all them, it's going to be tough on him.
Well, if you look at how they run, if Gibbs don't have no trouble, he's going to win the thing, okay?
I'm with Richard. No disrespect to the 10, because they've they've got to where they had. The Atlanta race really messed that thing up when it took a lot of the
good cars out.
And our two cars, the 42 and 43, went a long ways. And but if Gibbs don't beat himself, he should win it.